I've seen them.
Okay, and you think that these agencies are doing a good job?
I think there's...
Hi, thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm turning on my computer and then I'm trying to find some Justin Trudeau stuff. So I turn it on and then I noticed that I have none Justin Trudeau or Pierre's feed into my YouTube. So I'm just gonna search it. So I'm gonna type Justin Trudeau, okay. And then the funny thing that is, I don't really get many Justin Trudeau recent news. The one I have is actually the news about by-election in Quebec, but it isn't really about Justin Trudeau talking. The other one is about, you know, his vacation, you know, at the Tofino Beach, and then the latest one is 2 weeks ago, so it's kind of sad. So I'm gonna go to Pierre Poilievre. Pierre, where are you, Pierre? And then well, I got one 17 hours 2 days ago, 1 day ago, actually. You know, actually I got more, so I'm just gonna pick one to watch.
Thank you. Next question.
Good morning. Andrew Lawton, True North. I know you're familiar with Alberta's approach to drugs, which similarly to you is very much against so-called safe supply, but they have proposed a forced intervention and in some cases really using the mechanisms of law to push drug users into treatment under certain conditions. Would you support something like that nationally?
I don't know. I need to study it more. I need to understand how it would work. I want everybody who's on drugs to be in treatment and rehab to get off drugs. What I haven't been able to figure out is if someone doesn't want to be rehabilitated, can you require them to be? I don't know. I'd like to see some evidence for and against before I make a judgment.
So I like about him that if he doesn't know stuff, something, or not sure something, he's just gonna tell it right out, say I don't know, but he says he's gonna go back to study more to see if it's actually constitutionally allow him to do that, because you can't really just force someone to do drug rehab, right?
Stacey Gray from BC is an MP in our caucus, a common sense conservative, who's proposed that we have treatment in the prisons and that judges have the ability to make it part of a sentence that drug-related offenses have drug treatment as part of the sentence, so that the offender who perhaps they were involved in theft, we know the theft was linked to their addiction. The judge could say, while you're in prison, you're required to be drug-free, and we're going to provide you with high-quality treatment behind bars. That makes sense to me, because they're already going to be in prison anyway. They might as well be cleaning up their body and their souls and their addictions. But I don't know if you can take someone off the street who has not committed that has not committed a prison offense and successfully rehabilitate them. If we can, I'm open to it, but I need to see more evidence at this point.
Thank you. Next question.
Craig Needles from Blackburn Media. You mentioned some of those rehab centers and the work that's being done there. How would you go about getting more of those open, and in a timely manner as well? Because there are people who are using safe supply right now that if all that was just cut off all of a sudden, they would be in a very difficult situation. It could be a life and death situation when it comes to withdrawals. So how would you be able to do this quickly? Because OHIP-funded rehab is still very difficult to find, and a lot of these people are clearly struggling financially.
That's a very good point. It is too hard to find right now, and that's why a lot of people don't get help. They try. You know, they call a 1-800 number, they dig around, family members go scrounging around to try and find out what's available. They're then told that it's $40,000 to put someone in a treatment, Sebastian, in a treatment facility. So I appreciate that it's very hard for people to get into these programs. But that's why we need to repurpose the money that's now being spent on unsafe supply and harm production. Stop giving money to academics, bureaucrats, activists, and others who are perpetuating the problem, and fund the treatment facilities so that they can expand. We have treatment facilities. The problem is there are not enough of them. So, you know, if you went to the places that have proven track records of getting people off drugs, and you said, if we repurpose some of the money we're already spending, could you expand your service to more people? That I think is the best way to do it. And as I would do across government, I think we should pay for results. We should pay organizations that actually get results. The result is to get people off drugs. And as we get closer to the election, we will have more details on how we will repurpose those dollars to put them into treatment and recovery to bring our loved ones home drug-free. Thank you.
Thank you. This will be the final question.
Good morning, Sean Irvin from CTV News. Just along the lines of what you've been talking about already this morning, Mr. Poilievre, in regards to drawing kind of a tough line of what your party is proposing. Scott Cortese is with the London Area Community Health Centre, just located over here. During the police announcement, which I know your party is very familiar with, said that he wants a little time to come up with better protocols, better options, better avenues. Is there any compromise here? You've drawn quite a line this morning, but is there any compromise opportunity where you could work with some of these folks, come up with a modified plan, or is there strictly one option here in your mind?
Are you talking, sorry, on what subject? Are we talking now drugs or crime?
I'm talking safe supply, sir.
Well, again, how can you possibly report on the story when you're already using government propaganda? It's not safe. Yes, that's the problem. You're using the term they're using. How can you, so you've decided, you've already made up your mind, you're going to report their statements as though they're true. Well, why are you using their language?
Yeah, that's the language being used in various news conferences and other policies.
Oh, yes,
sir.
there are,
However,
of course.
Sir,
So you're just being force-fed talking points by the authorities who caused the problem in the first place.
Not at all.
This is exactly.
Yeah,
this is exactly the problem.
You hear
this
my
is exactly the
colleague behind
problem.
you saying London Police using the same terminology.
Exactly the problem.
The London Police using the same terminology.
How's it working?
So I'm just asking you to answer the question of whether or not there's any room to work with these other agencies or not, or whether you're going to stick to your proposals, which are your proposals. That's all I'm asking, sir.
My proposal is recovery and treatment. Am I going to give more money to these agencies that have caused the crisis? No. They're not going to get any more money. They've caused the mayhem. Have you been around? Have you seen the tent cities?
Lived in this very neighborhood for 8 years.
Have you seen the tent cities? Okay, and you think that these agencies are doing a good job?
I think there's, sir, it's not my job to debate a federal leader on this issue, sir, but I will say that...
I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
Are you think they're doing a good job when you go to see the tent cities that are popping up everywhere in the country?
I think the community is doing the best job.
I agree with you on that, the community, but the agencies are different than the community. And again, you're repeating their talking points. I mean, there was a time when reporters believed their job was to hold government accountable, not regurgitate their talking points. And that's what you're doing when you say safe supply. It's heroin-grade opioids that they want to give out. And it is being diverted to kids. It's not safe.
I didn't know that.
Since this policy was enacted, we have seen overdose rates more than double across Canada. And where these policies have been most enthusiastically embraced, like British Columbia, it's 400%. I don't understand how the media goes to the same agencies and public health bureaucrats who helped cause the crisis and calls them the experts, when in fact the results of their policies are plain for all eyes to see. There's 256 homeless encampments in Toronto now. 50 of them have opened up in 3 months alone. Like the 25% of Canadians are living in poverty. We've had 40,000 people die of drug overdoses. The approach that we're taking, that the NDP Liberals and the bureaucracies that they employ are taking, is only making things worse. I will be taking that money and giving it to treatment and recovery services, not more drugs. Frankly, these NDP Liberal bureaucrats and activists who have been sucking up all the money are responsible for the crisis. We saw in BC, the public health authority there wants to make drugs available in corner stores everywhere. They want to have something called compassion clubs where the government would give drugs out for people, to drug distributors who would wander around giving them out freely to anybody who wants them. This is why we're in the mess. We need a drastic departure from the nightmare that the radical, wacko, NDP Liberal agenda has caused in our streets. We need to lock up hardened criminals. We need treatment and recovery. We need to ban hard drugs. We need to bring our loved ones home drug-free. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to say I like him because if he doesn't know stuff, he's just gonna say I don't know, and then go back to some research. Doesn't like Justin. He likes to make up stuff, and then it's always emphasize something. Oh, we're gonna do whatever we can do to help you, stuff like that. But it's a politician talk. I haven't made up my mind yet what to do. I have to hear about his foreign policy and immigration policy, because I know that every party wants to have their own style of immigration policy, because those new people are going to come into the country and potentially is for to vote their parties. If this party easy on the immigration, the immigrants, 3 years later is going to vote for him, right? Vote for this party. If for instance, like 8-9 years ago, when conservative was tightening up the immigration, then they lost a lot of vote from certain group of people, because they want to bring their family over. They notice that oh, this party is gonna tighten up the immigrations, so I'm not gonna vote for this party next time, right? But who knows? Time will tell us. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I usually do half and half, with my view on politics and my travel, and of course, some family funny stuff. Goodbye.